A triple whammy of event risks spooking investors Friday. Uncertainty about the US budget tussle, the Eurozone's relapse into recession, and violence in the Middle East. This is Reuters Today. Let's deal with those risks one by one. Oil prices hovering around $108 a barrel as the violent showdown between Israel and the Palestinians stokes worries Arab producers may be drawn into any possible conflict. The Israeli military says it's begun drafting 16,000 reserve troops. These pictures showing Israeli tanks and troops gathering on the border with Gaza early this morning. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says, though, military action will be suspended today during a visit to the Gaza Strip by Egypt's Prime Minister. In an unprecedented display of solidarity with Hamas militants, he'll spend 3 hours in the enclave. Sources say he'll explore the possibility of a ceasefire. In the US, budget talks set to take place today aimed at preventing the US economy falling back into recession. President Obama will bring together the 4 top leaders of Congress for the first time since last week's election. Republicans have been digging their heels in on opposition to tax hikes, but the president says he's confident a deal can be done.
I believe this is solvable. I think that fair-minded people can come to an agreement that does not cause the economy to go back into recession, that protects middle-class families, that focuses on jobs and growth, and reduces our deficit. I'm confident it can be done. My budget, frankly, does it.
Poor economic prospects likely to put a dent in European shares today, but next week's crucial Eurogroup meeting should forge a deal to put the Greek economy on a sustainable path to recovery. That is according to IMF chief Christine Lagarde. She's cutting short her tour of Asia to attend the meeting in Brussels on Monday. Speaking in the Philippines, Lagarde said it's not over until the fat lady sings.
Working hard, putting our mind to it. Making sure that we focus on the same objective, which is that the country, in particular Greece, can operate on a sustainable basis, can recover, can get back on its feet, and can reaccess market as early as possible.
Japan unveils the date for its next election, December 16th vote, likely to bring in a 7th prime minister in 6 years. Let's get to Tara in Hong Kong. The long dominant Liberal Democrats likely to return to power, Tara.
That's right, Axel. We've had an election in the U.S., a leadership change in China, so why not an election in Japan? This time, as you mentioned, it's likely to bring in the former ruling Liberal Democratic Party. But along with that, and the key thing here is that it could bring in the former conservative Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Now, this is key for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's seen as more hawkish when it comes to relationship with China. As you know, that's already in the chill phase over a dispute about sets of islands between the two countries. Secondly, monetary policy. Yesterday, Abe called on the central bank to adopt interest rates of 0 or below 0 to jumpstart lending, and we saw the yen weaken substantially on that. The party is also putting together its draft economic platform, saying it would do its best to defeat deflation. So basically, the economy, a hot topic, and elections going to happen in Japan.
All right, Tara, have a good weekend. Many thanks. And that, of course, is the link to our guest in the studio today, Simon Derrick, Chief Currency Strategist, BNY Mellon. Good to see you, Simon.
Oh, that's
that is what this has been doing to the yen. It has been coming off. It seems to have steadied a little bit now. Are we entering a new weaker phase, do you think?
We could be, but there is a huge complicating factor here, and it is this, that at times of heightened risk aversion, the yen typically is one of the currencies that tends to benefit. So I think we've got two very opposing forces here. And given the fact that it looks like a risk-off run into the end of the year, it isn't apparent to me that this is going to be a straight line move at all. So from my perspective, you certainly don't want to be long yen in the current circumstances, but I think that you've got to be cautious about simply assuming this is going to be a straight line move down, certainly in the run-up to the election.
Do we head back down below 80?
I suspect not. I mean, I think we're probably going to maybe have a look back down there, but I don't think we're going to go much beyond. But I think it's going to be volatile in the 80-82 region.
It's all about event risk, as we said at the top. Fiscal cliff, Eurozone mess, Middle East, as we went into just now. dollar's safe haven status pretty intact?
I think so, and I think precisely because there's so few effective safe havens out there. The yen, for the moment, is out of the case. We've got the Swiss franc, which is still effectively holding against its ceiling against the euro. You're really left in the big currencies with sterling and the dollar as being your own effective holds. So for me, I think that's going to be the key going into the end of the year. Dollar's going to lead. Sterling's probably going to do pretty well against the euro. We'll watch for
and how temporary? I mean, if we get something next week at Eurogroup on Greece, and Lagarde seems to think this might well happen now, how temporary a boost to the euro would that be?
Well, I think it would be temporary because there's so much other event risk out there, and again, the euro tends to suffer in a risk-off environment. We've got the fiscal cliff. That's not going to get resolved, if it gets resolved at all, until year end. We have the Middle East, well, we've got a general election taking place in January there, so that story's still going to be up. All those things, I think, are going to lead investors to take a more cautious tone. Therefore, that's going to weigh against the euro, even if they manage to sort it out.
Very quickly, the Middle East. How's the FX market dealing with this now, and what do you foresee?
I think they're only just starting to react to this. You can see them changing around probably on Wednesday when the story first started to break, and they suddenly realised what a risk-off element this was, and they saw that from the Dow, the way that reacted negatively. Now, I think foreign exchange traders are starting to watch this story far more closely because they recognise that they've missed the build-up here, and they recognise that this is a far more complicated story than simply a battle between Israel and Hamas. We've got Syria, we've got Iran, we've got a new president in Egypt. Who knows how this develops? So I think that they will follow this story extremely closely.
Okay, Simon, thanks a lot for that.
Thank
Simon
you.
Derrick. That's it for now. As BP agrees to pay record criminal penalties for the Deepwater Horizon, I'll leave you with a flashback of the worst US offshore oil spill ever. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.